Well, we're finally out. We are in Wanakina on our second attempt of hiking the Cranberry Lake 50 and hoping that today goes a little bit better than the last time. Got to the trailhead around 4 o'clock, about a half an hour later than I expected, but I had a couple of extra stops to make. It took me a few minutes to get set up with the car. I really got out on the trail around 4:15, and I'm only about 5 minutes into the walk right now. Temperature's a little warmer than I expected. I think the car set is around 55 degrees right now. It is mostly cloudy, but it looks like our threat of rain has finally gone away. I don't believe there's any forecast of rain today. Only 5% tomorrow and 5% Sunday, and about 20% on Monday. Monday is when I'm slated to be heading to beaver dams, so I'm going to be soaking wet anyway. So off to a good start. Hoping to put on about 5.5 miles before I set camp tonight on Peavine Swamp Trail, and hope you enjoyed the ride. I have completed the road walk section between Wanakina and the start of the ranger school. We are now officially on the dirt pathway of the Cranberry Lake 50. A lot of leaves down and about what you would expect for a fall hike. So let's get to it. I just passed the intersection with the trail that would take you down to the lean-to on the ranger school property. The mileage says 2.6 miles to that trailhead. So far, we've been averaging just a little over 3 miles an hour. So at that rate, if I were to get to the 5.5 mile campsite, it would take me just under 2 hours, which is okay. I'm good with that. We parked the car around 4:15. If it took me 2 hours, it'd be 6:15. Sunset is about 6:30. I feel like I'm a little bit faster paced than that, but I also know that the last time I did this trip, I ended up hurting my foot by going too fast. So for today, I'm going to try to tone it down a little bit. We'll go a little bit slower and hope to avoid any of those injuries. So that's our hope. We're still aiming for that one campsite on the Peavine Swamp. Well, I'll be darned. Look at that. Just hiking through. I'm figuring I got about another quarter of a mile to half mile before we get to our campsite, and lo and behold, there it is. So we are 5.33 miles in. It is now 6 o'clock, and I'm gonna check out this site. Maybe we'll call this home for the night. It took me a little less than I thought it would, so that's a good sign. That's what we're going to call home for this evening. We are once again rocking the hammock gear, circadian bug net hammock with the hammock gear journey tarp and inside we're going to be insulating with the hammock gear top and under quilts, both rated for 20 degrees. We're slated to get down to about 36, 38 tonight, so I should be fine. I've definitely dealt with colder, so feeling good. We're here early. I'm getting set up in time. I'm gonna go hang a bear bag shortly, and then we're gonna eat dinner and just relax and hang out. So that's where we're at. Good morning. It is early. It's probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was a cold night last night. I slept pretty well. I think I fell asleep around 9, woke up around 5:15, and just been getting up and packing up camp. I grabbed a meal bar out of the bear bag, and I'm going to eat that in a little bit. I got down to 36 overnight. It's 38 currently. So everything's pretty chilly, but I feel okay, feel good. I'm going to wait till I get a little further down the trail before I actually eat my breakfast. Just want to get things moving. I'm going to keep the puffy jacket on for now. I don't like doing it. I don't like hiking in the puffy, but at 38 degrees, it's just a bit much to be, going without a jacket right now. So I'm sure I'll strip that off in the next half hour or so, stuff it back into my pack, and we'll be good to go from there. It's nice they make the trail markers reflective so you can see them even with a headlamp. You're walking down the hill into the Cranberry Lake trailhead parking lot, and I will finally get a chance to sign the register because I still haven't seen a register in Wanakena. So we'll go ahead and sign this register. I think once we get into Cranberry Lake proper, I will probably stop and have my breakfast there. It's been a good hike so far. Me in the town of Cranberry Lake, and we are on the road walking section. I just stopped for about a half an hour and had a little bit of breakfast, filled a water bottle, drank an entire liter, and filled it back up. So we are good to go for a bit. I was here a couple of weeks ago on a family vacation, and it looks a little different now. The state campground is closed for the season. There's not a soul around. I haven't seen anybody. We're doing all right. Feet are a little tired, a little bit sore, but not painful, more just blister type stuff. I am ducking back into the woods here on the east side of Cranberry Lake. I've been doing a decent job of keeping my feet mostly dry, a little bit muddy here and there, but mostly dry. I just got to a boardwalk section, and all of the boards appeared to be like right level with the water, which was fine for about the first half of it. But after that, I realized they were only flush with the water surface because they were actually floating on the water surface. So unfortunately, that last half of the bridge sunk down about 3 to 4 inches every time I stepped on it. So my feet are now thoroughly soaked. It's about 45, 48 degrees out right now, so it's not terrible. I just don't know if they're going to dry out as I hike today, or if they're going to be soaking wet overnight, which is my guess is they're going to be wet overnight. I've been having a little bit of a race with myself to see if I could get to 12 by 12, which means 12 miles before 12 noon. And my goal was to get to the trail junction with Hedgehog Pond. My guesstimation is that would put me right at 12 miles. I was hoping to get there by noon, and I got to 12 o'clock and stopped and pulled out the map, and as I'm sitting here, I noticed that we are literally at the junction of Hedgehog Pond. So I've met the 12 by 12, if this is actually 12 miles, I've met my 12 by 12 goal for the day. So that's kind of exciting, go me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here, make up some lunch. We got some walking tacos ready to go, and we'll take a few minutes break, eat some lunch, get back on the trail. I just finished lunch. It is 12:40, getting back on the trail, and lunch was good. I enjoyed lunch. I think the interesting thing right now is that this trail is now the first part. This is like the section that I haven't ever done before. I've gotten as far as what I did for lunch last year. So this is all first time hiking this particular section. So still haven't seen anyone else on the trail, although there were a couple of people on the trail register doing 6-day trips out here. So maybe I'll run into someone. Who knows? We'll see. Off to Dog Pond. About 15 minutes south of Hedgehog Pond, the trail opens up into this nice little clearing on Cranberry Lake. Quite pretty. Coming down the trail and find these massive boulders covered in ferns. Big as houses. I haven't seen them talked about in other videos, so that was a bit of a surprise. Coming down to Curtis Pond leaves us about 2.2 miles, 2.1 miles from Dog Pond, and I think we'll take a break there. We'll see. We'll assess from there if we're going to keep going or if we're going to camp out for the night there. So we'll see how it goes. After you pass Curtis Pond, there is another pond that is not labeled on the map that I carry, so I'm not sure what it is. But it's beautiful coming down the hill. Shortly we'll be hitting Irish Pond, and then after that we'll get to Dog Pond, and that's where I think we're going to check the map and see if we want to keep going or call it for the night. Right now it's about 2:30, so I was thinking we would be at Dog Pond sometime around 3 o'clock. It might be a little after that. I've taken a couple of breaks. But if we get there at 3 o'clock, that'll leave me another 3.5 hours-ish of sunlight. I could push on a couple of miles further and see if we can get a little bit of a jump start for tomorrow. But we'll see how we feel once we get to Dog Pond. Well, a little bit of a change of plans. Last time we chatted, I was planning on trying to get to Dog Pond, and I got to Dog Pond early enough in the day. I still had like 2+ hours of daylight, and I saw the signage. I kept going a little bit farther, figured maybe we'd stop at Otterbrook Trail. Got to Otterbrook and saw that Chair Rock Flow was only 5.2 away, and I decided, you know what, I got time. Let's do this. So I continued on to Chair Rock Flow, which is where I am now, which puts me, I believe, right around 23 miles on the day yesterday. I feel surprisingly good about it. Like, my body is okay. My feet probably have some blisters forming. We'll try to treat that this morning. But as far as like the back, the legs, the feet, everything else feels pretty decent. So I stayed here at Chair Rock last night. I got in around 6. And I made dinner, hung up a bear bag, hung the hammock, It was dry last night, but that did not continue overnight. So I had set the alarm for 5:30, figuring maybe I can get an early start and do another big day today and get almost all the way back to the car. But it doesn't look like that's in the cards. I woke up to rain. I think it's pretty much stopped now, but there's enough wind that when the wind blows, it knocks rain out of the trees. So it's still pretty wet out. I've already put my cold, wet, gross socks back on. So there'll be no effort to stay dry today. Obviously I have my rain jacket on. My puffy is packed away. It's warmer today. I think yesterday I woke up and it was 36. Today I woke up at 46. And I don't know if that's because I actually battened down the whole tarp last night and closed the doors and all of that. Did that play a role? But I do feel like it's significantly warmer today than it was yesterday. I am almost ready to go. I just sent a message to my wife and let her know that all is well and getting a little bit later start. It is now almost 8 o'clock. I expect by 8 o'clock I'll be back out on the trail. My hope is to make it to High Rock. We'll see if that happens. But if I make it to High Rock, that'll put me in a good spot to get out of here tomorrow fairly early. I think to High Rock I've got to put on another 18 miles. So it's a good sized day, but not insurmountable. I know we've got the beaver dams to contend with, so that's going to slow me down a bit, and I'm a little bit later start today. So it might be a challenge, and I might be pulling into High Rock right around sunset again, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, I wish I had more to say about Chair Rock Flow, but to be honest, I got here about 20 minutes, half an hour before dark and was in a scramble. I didn't even take any photos or videos yesterday after Dog Pond, I don't think. So my phone was also down to like 12% battery by the time I got here, so I was trying my best to conserve. I did charge it overnight, so we have phone powered up and ready to go. So I think with that, I'm going to finish packing up, and hit the trail in the next 10 minutes or so. I'm just hiking in the rain. Ugh. I think I'm about maybe 10 minutes into my hike. Still have beautiful views of the water. I am soaking wet, no surprise. The trail is muddy, no surprise. But overall, I think we're doing all right. I have no idea where I am, but that's pretty. I'll take that anytime. But we now have a bridge to cross, and then God only knows how far I've got, but it's been good. Well, I made it to Olmsted Pond lean-to. That's where I'm at right now. Unfortunately, I missed the turn coming up. There was a section where I should have turned right for 100 feet and turned left, and I turned left and bypassed all of Olmsted Pond. So by the time I figured it out, I was already halfway through, more than halfway through. So I decided to do the Olmsted Pond route in reverse, so that I'll still get the entire Olmsted Pond, and then I'll just end up repeating that bypass section once down and once back. So that'll add about 2 miles to my day. So it probably adds another 45 minutes to an hour to my hiking day, which doesn't make me terribly happy. I was already going to be pushing it to get to High Rock before dark. So we'll see how it goes as far as light is concerned. I may end up camping short of High Rock. If I can get to High Rock before dark, great, we'll camp there. But otherwise, I may have to stealth camp somewhere in between Really frustrating that I missed that turn. But I'm using the Onyx app, and had I been looking at it, I would have found it easily. But I was trying to go by, well, there's all sorts of, the blue trail markers that we've been following the entire time. But the blue trail markers were not Cranberry Lake 50 trail markers, so I missed it. Consequences. So I came up along the beaver dams on the south end of Olmsted Pond, and part of me was just tempted to go right straight back the way I came, and it would still get me my 50 miles, and it would get me to High Rock on time, but it would mean missing out this northwestern section of Olmsted Pond Trail. And having come up through those beaver dam sections, that was a pretty rough section of trail that I'm not really crazy about repeating. So if I have to add 2 miles to get the full loop in, I think I'm just going to continue on the way that will get me the entire Olmsted Pond loop, get myself back to the Cranberry Lake 50, and get myself over to High Rock if I can get there. Otherwise, we're prepared to stealth camp. I don't need a campfire ring, I don't need a lean-to, just need 2 trees to hang up, and we'll be good to go. So that's where we're at. Well, we are about a mile and a half south of Olmsted Pond Junction, and stumble across this, which looks like a fairly fresh tree fall. And at the moment, I'm not entirely sure where the trail markers are, so I'm kind of making my way through it, hoping to reconnect on the other side with markers. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a marker on this tree somewhere. But that's fun. It's been tricky navigating through with a pack on, but here's hoping. I've been climbing for some time now as I get closer to the junction with Cowhorn Pond Trail, and it's an interesting place because it's super steep on each side, but I finally have my first view of what I believe to be Cowhorn Pond. Oh, well, my lens is all fogged up, so you won't get to see much, but hopefully in a little bit we'll get a better look. Literally seconds after I filmed that, I got to the signpost that says Cowhorn Pond, 0.2 of a mile. But it is straight down that super steep incline, and there's no way I'm going to hike 0.2 down, eat my lunch, and hike 0.2 back up. So I'm going to eat right here on the trail. We're going to make some peanut butter wraps with some chocolate chips. Quick and easy, get moving. The time is now 1:05. I've taken about a 10, maybe 12-minute lunch break here, and it has picked up in the rain. So I'm going to get back on trail and see how quickly I can get going. In a perfect world, I'd like to make it to High Rock tonight. I think that's going to take about another 9.5, 10 miles. If I can be there by 6 o'clock, great. That gives me 5 hours to do 10 miles. In theory, that should be enough. But I also have the beaver dams to get through, and I know that's going to slow me down. So we'll see. If I have to stealth camp before that, that's okay. We can make it work. Here we go. I just passed the last view of Glasby Pond, and that puts me coming up on Dead Creek Flow Junction, I believe. Time is 2:20 right now. The rain is continuing to come and go, sometimes heavier than others. The whole trail is just kind of a washout mud pit. Trying to navigate which logs are going to hold me and which ones are going to give way has been a challenge. Including that one. We have made it to the Sand Hill Junction, and that means I'm entering my last leg back to Wanakina. I think from here it's 10 miles even back to Wanakina. My hope is to head over to, I'll be passing the High Falls Junction, and that is going to be 2.9 miles away, en route to High Rock. So the dream is still alive. The rain is kind of coming and going. I just went through a pretty gnarly section of pretty steep rock, but no incidents. Feet are absolutely drenched, although to be fair, they've been in a swimming pool in each shoe since about 8:30 this morning, so they're going to be nice and pruning white this evening when I get back to camp. We'll be sure to get you a nice video of that. Just kidding, I probably won't show you that, that's gross. But anyway, I'm back on trail, headed down to High Falls. There's lots of beaver dams. This one that I'm standing on right now is just a little bit north of Dead Creek Flow Junction, I believe. I just passed the intersection with High Falls Trail, and it's at 8.6 back to Wanakina. Now, of course, I'm not going all the way back to Wanakina right now. It's about 3:30, and by my calculations, it should be about 4.7 from here to High Rock, which is where I'd like to stay the night tonight. So it gives me about 2 hours to make 4.7. In theory, that's doable. We've run into quite a few of the little beaver dams, but nothing all that slowing. So yesterday I did 5.2 in 2 hours, just under 2 hours. So I should be able to pull into High Rock a little before 5:30. But we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. Here is another beaver dam. It looks like this one actually has a bridge to it, which is nice. If you look out on the water, you can actually see the raindrops. In the forest, they don't even feel it. I don't know if that's because of the canopy or because I'm already so soaking wet. It really doesn't matter. But here is one of the beaver dams. A little bit of board walking through. Definitely feel the rain a little bit. It's not terrible. These little boardwalks are helpful. This looks like an actual nice bridge. That's not so bad. Pretty. All right. This one, most decidedly, was not pleasant. Although I didn't go in any deeper than my ankles, it was a slog, and I'm only halfway through. Still got more to go, but I'm not going to record it, so wish me luck. Most of the section just west and north of the beaver dams has been pretty cruisy. I've been moving quite along. Looks like we're heading up to another pond, and I'm going to guess one more beaver dam to cross. So thought I was done with these, but I guess not. We're probably about a mile and probably about 2 miles from High Rock, and it looks like we've got more mud to cross, and I don't see any good logs to help me, so this is going to be tricky. I thought we were done with this. Well, there's no avoiding it. That one was deep. I got up to my shins in water. I'm still slopping through, but at least now it's, mud instead of like shin deep water. I wish somebody had been here with me to record that. That would have been entertaining for sure, but hopefully I am almost out of this. And check this out. The time is now 5:10 p.m. and I've made it to the junction with High Rock Falls, or High Rock. So I'll be turning off there, going another 1/10 of a mile and setting up for the night. So that's exciting. I made it here well before dark. So go me. It's 6:45 at night. I have finished dinner, hung my bear bags, and I'm about to change into my dry clothes and settle in for the night. Good morning. It's the last day of the trip. I just woke up at 7 o'clock. I went to bed last night around 8. Woke up about every 2 hours. Not in pain, just trying to roll over. Today's the day to pack up and hike out. I don't even think I'm going to make any breakfast this morning. I'm just going to simply hike straight out. Probably going to stop at Otto's abode for a cup of coffee when I get out of here. So, yeah, my headlamp battery is dying. So it's like trying to go on bright and then it can't. So it goes back to dark. But anyway, I'm going to try to get out of here. It started raining last night around 9 o'clock and it's been raining slowly, steadily all night long. I did get woken up around midnight, I think just trying to roll over, but as I was awake trying to go back to sleep, I heard something outside the hammock. Something that I don't know what it was. Didn't stick around long, but I heard 2 grunts. And that was about it. And I got a little anxious, of course. But it went away. I stayed quiet, and whatever it was moved on its way. So I haven't yet gotten out of the hammock to check the bear bag, but I think if it had come down, I would have heard that thunk, and I didn't. So I think I'm fine. And to be honest, even if you got my bear bag, I don't need any more food because I'm hiking out this morning. So, yeah, time to get up and rolling. I'm hoping to be out of camp by 8, which would put me back to Otto's abode before 9. They open at 9. So I'm going to go straight there, grab a cup of coffee, and then head to the car and head home. Not looking forward to putting on wet clothes this morning, but it is what it is. At least it's the last day. Only got 4 miles to go, so it's not bad. So I don't know how much video I'll shoot today in the rain. I didn't shoot much yesterday in the rain, but I'm glad the trip is over. I've been looking forward to finishing this trip for a while, and I will say that the nicest thing about this hike has been getting it off of my bucket list. It's been wet, it's been muddy. Day 1 wasn't bad, but yesterday was rough. The beaver swamps are no joke, although they weren't as bad as I had feared that they might be. A lot of people talk about, wading through knee-deep water. I don't think there was a moment where I was deeper than my ankles, and even that was only once or twice. Now granted, I know I have long legs and that makes it a little bit easier to get through, but I don't think it was terrible. But there were 4, I think, maybe 5 long sections of beaver dams between High Falls and High Rock, and more closer to High Falls. I think they stopped maybe a mile or 2 away from High Rock. High Rock has been the best campsite I've seen. It's beautiful here. I kind of wish if I was going to stay another night, it would be staying here. The only drawback is it's a bit of a hike down the hill to get water, but aside from that, it's absolutely beautiful to look out over the creeks that kind of meander through the meadow here. So with that, I think it's time to put on some wet socks, start getting out of here. I am all packed up and ready to go. It's probably about 20 after 8 or so I'm running a little bit behind, but I'm not overly concerned. We have lots of time to get to the car today. Hoping to make it to Otto's around 9, grab a cup of coffee, nice and warm, and hit the road. So it's been fun, Cranberry Lake 50. It's time to go home. The camera's all fogged up again. We are about 20 minutes away from the car. I am probably going to stop the car briefly, take off my rain jacket, and then walk over to Otto's abode. Ooh, wow. This trail has been mostly, you know, from High Rock, has been mostly flat, easy cruising, a little bit wet here and there, but not much of note. I passed the pipeline, I don't know, 5-6 minutes ago. From there, I'm assuming it's going to take about 25 minutes or so to get to the car. So we are about 15-20 minutes away from wrapping up the Cranberry 50. And I'm ready to be in the car with dry shoes on. Yeah, wow, it's been sloppy and wet. And yes, it's still raining, as if the foggy lens wouldn't tell you that. But, oh well, it is what it is. We are reaching the final trail register. And we are, you can't really see it from here, but we are right on the water. So that's exciting. We will sign in for one last time and be done with the Cranberry 50.